If you're a photographer that is really behind with editing right now, and you're feeling the stress of shoots pile up on top of you, and you don't want to open your email inbox because it's going to be another client with a just following up on this, well, I have a great solution for you, and also a very nice free gift. Let's edit a gallery right now from start to finish. This took me about 3 minutes of total actual effort and about 45 minutes of total time, including the export. I actually went to lunch with my friend Tim for part of that 45 minutes while it was exporting. And wow, look at how good the images look. This is before, and this is after the automatic edit with straightening, subject masking, and skin smoothing. A dream come true. So here's how it works. You're building a profile from whatever preset you like the most. You select generally how bright you want your images to be, and if you want them to be warmer or cooler, this part takes you about 30 seconds. Then you drop all the images you want edited either into a Lightroom catalog, or you can just use a regular folder. Select the checkboxes if you want your images to be straightened, subject masking, skin smoothing, and cropping, and then just let it do everything for you. These edits are all from the profile you saw me build just a few seconds ago. I have changed absolutely nothing. And I know this sounds too good to be true, but it's not, and you can get set up and using this in the next 10 minutes. And when I said I have a free gift, that gift is 1,500 free edits using this system. So sign up right now and try it on whatever shoot you are avoiding by watching this video. Hello from VoiceOver. Use the link in the description, because if you just use the main website, it only gives you 1,000, but if you use the link with my face on it here, you get 1,500, which is 500 more edits. One disclaimer here, Imagen still recommends that you build your profile if you do have 3,000 images to custom build your profile, but this is just a short demo of how you can build a light profile that is really, really darn good. Also, new feature alert, if you do headshots or school photography or sports photography and you do a lot of batch editing of portraits, you can now have Imagen center the main subject of each photo in either a 4:5 or 5:7 aspect ratio. Now, let's look through the gallery. You can also see all my settings on these images if that's something that interests you, and feel free to pause it at any time because I might move pretty quickly. Here we are inside the gallery. Give you a quick little sampling here of everything we're about to see, although you've already seen a little bit of it here. And I'm gonna go back to top. This is from one of my cameras that I shot at a wedding a couple of months ago. And let's begin. Nikon ZF, we'll go here so you can see all the settings. This is from the 40mm f2, which is one of my favorite lenses. It's very small and I like the characteristics of it a lot. I also have the 85 1.2 with me this day, and the Tamron 2875, which I used for the ceremony. And also I borrow Liam's 50mm f 1.2 for a little bit of the day as well. So these are all automatic edits. I've done nothing. The profile you saw me build with my preset, and also if you're a member, you have access to this exact preset and you can build this same profile if you want. You can also customize it out to be a little cooler, a little warmer. Sorry to pause on the most boring of all the images. And as you can see, I literally won't change anything about any of these images. I'm waiting to get to one. So the other thing that I do is, so now that editing weddings is so fast, I will actually go through and I will do removal on things that I like. I'll remove this here. I'll remove fire alarms. I'll do a lot more now because of how fast the editing is, that I can actually deliver a significantly better final product to my couples. And maybe even this mirror here might disappear from generative fill. And I'll also go through, this is basically, I went through and I selected everything that I think that I might like to include, but there's usually a few images that I end up don't including in the final gallery. And usually that's the part of my process where I'll go through and I'll delete anything, and I'll also select which images I'm going to convert to black and white as well. I'll give them both the color and the black and white. So these ones might be a little warm, but the entire section here is kind of all a little bit warm. So that might be an edit that I would do. I would select all these images in library and I would hit the temperature down button 2 times on all those images, but it's more of a global edit, so it's pretty easy overall. Honestly, maybe it's just fine though. I'll have to look at it again on a second monitor. You can also customize your brightness as well, as I mentioned. So if you want things really, really bright and airy, you can do that, or if you want them a lot darker, you're able to do that as well. Everything looks great. And also it adds a level of professionalism when all of your images are nice and perfectly straight. So this image straight at a camera, I was probably on that 1 degree slant that I'm always on. And it just looks a lot better when everything is perfectly aligned, especially for family photos, and especially if you're shooting in front of a fireplace or something with straight lines, which I would say most of the time my family photos are. Although today was a bit of a weird, we'll get to it, but the family photos we did in a non-ideal spot for mobility concerns. It's 85 1.2, phenomenal lens, so heavy, but so lovely. And I'll go through probably and remove some of these duplicates. I just included anything that they both look good in, and maybe an image like that I might not include because it's a little off center. And I'll remove a few of those so there's not too many duplicates in there. I include a lot of dogs. I don't know what dog face they like the best. Maybe that face. That one would be the one that I would probably select, but I don't know. Maybe they like that one better. I give lots of photos of dogs, is what I'm trying to say. Another space where straightening is amazing. And again, for subject masking, I'll show you a little demo right now about what it actually does. And it doesn't do anything too crazy. It just kind of lightens up. It adds a little bit of face light and accentuates your subject a little bit. You can also dial this up or down. So if this is too much for you, you can dial it way back, or you can just not use it at all. We were limited by weather on this day. It was pouring rain at this time. And also, even if it had finished raining, to go outside with dresses of this fabric, if they get wet, they would show a little bit of water drops. So I try to keep everybody in good space before the ceremony. And then after the ceremony, maybe we get a little bit more adventurous. This is also just one of my cameras, so I was shooting 2 cameras on this day. There's also a full behind the scenes video of this wedding day online as well if you're interested. This is one of the fathers icing the couple. So when they go to grab their wine bottle, it'll be a Smirnoff Ice, and they'll be forced to chug it in front of all their friends and family. Even for details, really happy. So this is maybe a slight inconsistency, that it's kind of this color here, it's a little warmer, and then it's more of a pure white. Maybe I would edit that, maybe that would only bother me, I don't really know. And maybe that's totally fine to leave for your client. But so far, those indoor ones that I would make maybe a little bit cooler, and that one that I would select either the warmer or cooler and try to deliver everything at it. No changes, no notes. It really just kind of gets everything exactly bang on and makes my life as a photographer so happy. And what my usual process is, so you can use Imagen for culling as well, but my usual process is that I'll actually go through at the reception. So I'll sit down for dinner, I'll load all my cards in, I'll load my seconds cards in first usually, and I will cull things as they're downloading to a drive. So rather than using the AI culling, I will just be manually doing it, and I'm pretty fast at it overall. I would say it takes me maybe 20 minutes to cull an entire wedding. So this day I shot a lot of images. I probably shot like 8,000 images total. And by the end of dinner, I was culled up to the point of dinner. If I was to use AI assistance in that, it'd be very helpful for the group shots, for the family photos, but I would still be going back to refine the cull to make sure everything that should be included is included and making some changes. And that would probably take me 20 minutes. So I might as well just do it on my own. Back to that 1.2, it's so nice. I wish it was just a little less crazy heavy all day. The 50 would be my recommendation. The 85 1.2 is very, very nice, but for a wedding, I find the 50 is just a lot more versatile, that you can use it pretty much all day, where the 85, you definitely need a lot more space. This is also the backup ceremony location. They were originally doing it out at a gazebo that was outdoors in the green space. This is a very nice space, it's good lighting, but there are a lot of vertical columns and steel things that I don't love, specifically the doors that are directly behind them. Not a whole lot I can do about that, but I thought by shooting the 85 at f1.2 for the entire ceremony, I would at least soften the strongness of this. And if I was shooting on my like a 24 to 70, or I guess the 28 to 75 that I was on here at the beginning of the ceremony, if I was to shoot the entire ceremony on it, I don't know if I would love the images. These photos were all on a significant slant because I was beside Liam and we were trying to stay out of each other's way, and he was shooting video for this part, and I didn't want to make him have to go weird because it's harder to correct video. So I was maybe just kind of like a little kind of shooting like that, and it worked out. It looks good. No changes. Outdoor, some cocktail hour photos. This is the non-ideal family photo location. It's fine, it works. It's good light, so at least people look good in it, but they were looking at a very dark wall, so they don't really get as nice a bounce as they should. And I guess there's two things you could do. In real life, you could use a fill flash and get those catch lights back in people's eyes. Although they do have catch lights, it's just that it's a little bit darker. Or you can just move the slider up in for shadows. So depending on if that is if you're okay with that, then awesome. If not, then you can adjust that yourself in post. Also, I should say that any edits you do, so if you do bring this back into Lightroom and you make additional edits, you then send the gallery back to Imagen to be finalized, and any adjustments that you make within the gallery will be taken into consideration next time it sees a similar image. So it's fine-tuning your profile over time. And I would say for just out of the box, just add my preset, select how bright and dark I want the image, and white balance roughly. I would say that this is pretty bang on. Not a whole lot of changes. And again, images like this would not have been so perfectly straight, and I feel like it just adds that extra level of professionalism. All right, that brings me to the end of this camera for the day. And once I get into the reception, I switch, on this day I switch to Sony. And one of the other benefits of using the Imagen system is that whenever you do have multiple different camera brands, it does a very, very good job of making all of those files look the same. And honestly, that alone will save you so much time. There it is. Head on over to the link down below and get started with your 1,500 free edits. It's going to work for you and make your life a lot happier. Thanks for watching. See you next time.